All right, welcome back, everyone. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about setting up authorized user trade lines for your underage children and whether or not you should or should not be setting up these accounts. So, once again, we're going to be talking about setting up AU trade lines for underage children and whether or not you should be doing it and when you should be doing it. So, let's go ahead and talk about some reasons you would want to set up a authorized user trade line for your child, and then we'll talk about some reasons why you may not, and then I'll give you my overall consensus. So of course it's good because it's going to establish a credit profile for your child. It's going to establish them a credit score, and it could potentially link personal information to their credit profile, which could be helpful when you're setting up a credit profile, to have that information already on there. However, there are cons that can come with it as well. So basically, we live in a world where we have to remember, just as well as there's so much good stuff and things that benefit us, there's always bad that comes with the good, especially when it's not used properly. And a lot of us were neglected proper financial education when it comes down to credit and investing, business, all these different things. So since we were lacking this information, now that we have it, we want to take it and run with it. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few reasons why you may not want to set up AU trade lines for your kids. And it's very dependent on age. So, one thing is you're opening your own accounts up to be compromised. This very much depends on your issuer as well as how well you maintain the AU cards and what you're doing with them. If you're getting them and cutting them right up, that could help. If your card issuer gives AU cards the same account number and same card number as yours, that could potentially help. But there are certain issuers that give AU cards a different account number, and there's there's many different issuers that issue separate cards to authorized users. So when they're issuing these cards, what actually happens is every additional card that's being issued, especially when it has a different card number, opens your account up more to be hacked. So imagine if you have an account and there's only one account number on it, then they would have to hit that one account number in order to compromise your account. However, if you have 6 authorized users, now they have 5 more opportunities to be able to get into your account, particularly through any of your authorized users. Now, reason 2 being, once again, there are bad people in the world who are going to be looking for your information, your child's information, whoever's information that they can get. You cannot set up credit monitoring for a child's credit profile at this current time, through Credit Karma or MyFICO or Experian or any of those companies. So therefore, you're not going to be able to closely monitor your child's credit report. So what can end up happening is you can set up your child's credit profile. You can put all this information on there. You put all these AUs on there. And let's say you put, some good substantial trade lines on there. What can happen is a hacker can get access to that information. They could send in false documentation to the credit bureaus to get the name or the address changed, or they could keep the same name, potentially even address if they, are able to put in a different mailing address, or, they have access to your mailbox for whatever reason. And you're basically just setting your child up for identity theft because they're able to go ahead and apply for things in your child's name, or like I said, by altering their credit profile but keeping those authorized users, and potentially even adding another name to your child's credit report. And you're setting them up to open up their credit profile on their 18th birthday and have to fight off a bunch of fraud. Um, the next thing is with the fraud, as well as just if per se you miss a payment on your credit card, or anything goes on with your accounts, you can really you can hinder your child's credit report before they're able to start it. So if you have this card and then you start missing payments, especially when we're talking extensive time out where you can't really foresee things, even, now with the pandemic, we can't foresee where the markets are going to go, where jobs are going to go, if you're going to get fired, anything like that. So without being able to do that, you could miss a payment, and that's going to end up hindering your child's credit report as long as that missing payment is showing. Now, the next thing is you could be setting your child up for financial failure. So, say everything goes well, their account doesn't get hacked, none of those, bad things in that way occur. But say your child is rebellious, or you didn't properly get your child the knowledge on credit. And I say that because it may not be your fault. Your child may not be interested, just as well as the credit system may change in the next few years. And so now your child goes and they apply for a card on their 18th birthday. They get a $20,000, $25,000 card. They feel like they hit the credit lottery. Maybe they get three $20,000 cards. They get lucky, because you set them up with good banks. So now they get three $25,000 cards. They go run them up for $75,000. And now your child is bankrupt and can't pay those credit card bills off. And their credit's messed up for the next 7 years anyway. So you could hinder them in that way. You could be setting them up for failure. Just as well as the AU tactic is currently being phased out by a lot of financial institutions. So you could set up these AUs, and then by the time, your child is ready to use them, they could not even be of any use. They might not even be reporting at that point in time. So, I just really wanted to kind of touch on those things particularly, and then, give you my opinion. So, all in all, I think that the AU method is good and can definitely be used when you're looking at applying for things and you're looking at, building your credit profile or your child's credit profile. However, what I believe personally is that if you have a child and your child is under the age of, 14, really even 16, you know, don't really worry about getting them an AU, because before then you're opening them up, and you're opening them up for an extremely long period of time, to a lot of fraud and a lot of other things. As well as I believe, if you can start training them, put a limit on their authorized user card and start teaching them about credit, once they have a job or, some chores or different things, and they can kind of, say, okay, I'm going to spend this much and work and then pay this off when it's due, or things like that. And you can kind of teach them and train them in the credit realm, teach them paying their card in full, things of that nature. Then you will see much more results from using those methods than you're going to, in financially preparing your child rather than just setting everything up for them and hoping that everything goes well, especially with knowing that there's so many bad people in the world who will try to take advantage of that. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos. We're going to bring more videos to you daily now, and we're checking out. See you guys.